Hey, good morning. It's Rich. I'm on my way to work, and we're going to go around the west side today, which I don't do that often because it's a little longer, but it's also faster, so it probably takes about the same amount of time. And more of it is moving. When I go up the east side, I end up stuck in traffic crosstown to get to Fifth Avenue from the FDR, or formerly known as the East River Drive. When I go up the west side, there's a bit of crosstown traffic, but it's not as bad. And there's no left turn when I get to the other side.
How much is a bike like this?
They're about $6,000.
As is, right?
Yeah. Well, they're less if they're used. I bought this one new.
They ride nice?
Yeah, it's hard for the highway because they don't.
For a city,
For the city, it's perfect. Like, you can do it in the highway. It's just it doesn't like going 70 miles an hour, but it'll go 65.
yeah, that's cool.
Yeah. Here's the ferry terminal. Go on the Wall Street side. So you saw yesterday that I had a little bit of battery trouble when I parked the bike for 5 days at JFK and ended up needing a jump start. The place where the garage where I park, Motorcycle Club, Riders Alley, has a battery tender that everyone can use, and in fact there's a lead from the battery tender that runs right to my parking space that I've never used because I've never had any battery trouble before because I've always been a daily rider. I gotta wait until I can cross here safely. So I've never had any battery trouble before, but I figured since my more experienced riding friends have repeatedly warned me that motorcycle batteries run down, I figure I'll start plugging the battery in overnight every night, except when I'm when I know that I'm about to take the bike out again. But like whenever I park it to store it for a day or so, I'll plug it in. Which I did last night, and when I got the bike back, when I plugged it in, the red light went on. That indicates that it's charging, even though at that point the battery had plenty of charge to start the bike right up. It wasn't fully charged, so it charged overnight. And overnight the red light disappeared. So, I think I've got a fully topped out battery. I wonder if, I was using the heated grips last week. I wonder if that using the heated grips on days when I'm mostly doing short rides is going to wear the battery out faster than it recharges from riding. That may be what happened. The other thing that's happening with the bike is that the mirror bolts are loose again, and so the mirrors swivel. I need to get a wrench and tighten up these locking bolts so that it holds. Some people have told me to use Loctite to hold them in place, although I don't want to put myself in a position where I can't adjust the mirror. So, maybe I'll do that, maybe I won't. Because I'm constantly, I am periodically taking these off. The wind deflectors attached to the mirror, and I've got extenders that I need to which reminds me, I've got to bring those to the garage. They're sitting by the front door. We got snow flurries coming down, which, I keep expecting that winter's done, and it keeps spitting down a little more on us. There's right in front of us is a Mercedes with diplomatic plates. I'm always a little careful driving around people with diplomatic plates because, they allegedly can get out of any sort of legal trouble. So in theory, could run you over without any recourse, short of a diplomatic incident. That's someone with a driver. The diplomat or diplomat's family members in the back seat. Let's see if we can see who it is. Nope. I mean, not that I would recognize a random consular official from a random nation. I'm sure that the license numbers are coded by country, but I don't know the code. There we go. Once we get past Chambers Street, I think we'll be moving. That's nasty snow flurries. So it's, still winter, and Michael and I are thinking of going somewhere to the sun. He wants a tan, and I don't care so much about that, but it would be nice to be in a warm place for a few days. And we were looking at Key West, and then I had the brilliant flash of, I had so much fun renting the motorcycle in Los Angeles from Eagle Rider, and I wondered if Miami might have an Eagle Rider location, and they do. So if I wanted to do this, I could fly to Miami, rent a motorcycle, probably a Honda touring bike this time, and ride it to Key West, which is 2.5 hours in the car or whatever, and probably 4 hours on a motorcycle, and would probably be so much fun going over the causeway after causeway on a motorcycle. I'm so not the sort of person that you would think would be a motorcycle rider, because I'm not a leather wearing hairy ape or whatever, but I love the feeling of just tooling along on the open road, or even this stop and go in the city has got its advantages. And I don't even do much lane splitting or filtering. I mostly ride like a car because I don't want to surprise people, and the lanes here are narrow in any case. But even in those conditions, the motorcycle is a lot of fun. Filtering over. I think these snow flurries are just decorative. I don't think we're going to have anything stick because it's so warm. It's probably 40 degrees out. Or at least high 30s. My thermometer on the bike says 40. It may be a little cooler out because the bike overnight was in the heated garage where it's 75, and it takes a few minutes to stabilize when I take it out. cobbles are kind of a pain in the ass on a motorcycle. I mean, obviously the bike is built to handle them. This bike is built for Indian roads, but I don't like being jerked around like this. And in a moment like this, when my mirrors are loose, the mirrors are bouncing all around. You can notice that I have to keep shoving my left mirror back with my thumb. I'll take out a wrench tonight and deal with that. So, coming through the West Village, which has been like this for 150 years. Greenwich Village. Real estate agents call this part the West Village, but traditionally it's all just Greenwich Village. Street, 8th Avenue, Abingdon Square. I wonder if, I can go straight through to 6th Avenue. This, in fact, is the way sometimes that I go to work when I'm coming up 8th Avenue. The place I like to stop for coffee is just right back there, a few blocks. Doughboy. And I'm a little late to work today, so we'll just go straight. There's always construction everywhere in New York City. The policeman's there, people stop rolling through the light. Even though that's a traffic policeman, not the kind that's going to pull you over. Just the shield of authority is enough to make people behave. Sanitation police. Someone has committed a sanitation felony. I mean, you laugh, but in a city like this, everything's got to be managed by the authorities. Otherwise, you have a disorder very quickly. So there are rules about everything, including what time you can put your garbage out and where you can put it out, and it's all enforced. And here in New York City, sanitation is a function of the Department of Health because, in sort of historical terms, city sanitation activities came about as a public health function, and they still are here in New York. If we can clear that light, we'll be at 6th Avenue, and then we'll be at my office in a hop, skip, and a jump. Kind of tickled by this. I got used to I complained at first on the Harley that it had self-canceling turn signals that didn't always work, but I got the hang of them by the end, and now I'm annoyed that these are not self-canceling, and I keep forgetting to cancel them after my turns. Here's a move that would be illegal in Los Angeles, turning into a crosswalk that has somebody in it, and that I've actually been ticketed for there. I had trouble training myself not to do it while I was there last week because you get in New York habits and then they're hard to break. Like I'm sitting on the freeway in LA wondering why people aren't closing up the spaces between cars in heavy traffic. And, urgently wanting to move forward 10 feet, even though, what's the difference? Which is the attitude everyone has in Los Angeles. It's like, well, we'll get there eventually, so turn up the radio. Which, is actually not completely crazy in context. Like, if I were a jerk, I could cut between these lanes, cut up the left through the bike lane, and probably not get ticketed either way. But, who wants to do that? Move right here. One lane at a time. Rather not follow a truck, but not for safety, but because you can't see anything. Taxis don't always signal before they go, but pretty much always they look before they go, so I don't worry that much about being hit by one. Here we are, and that Honda Shadow is parked here. He rode in today. I'm gonna park next to him.